I call upon the spirit of the owl, messenger of wisdom. Welcome to the temple of the owl. Merry meet, seekers of knowledge, for I am Matt's owl, your guide through the mystical realms. I wish your day be enchanted and blessed. In this episode, we will discuss the types of witchcraft, the diversity of the craft. Within the heart of the Temple of the Owl, hidden deep in the mystical forests of Northern California. Here, amidst the whispers of ancient trees, we embark on a journey through the realms of magic and spirituality. As we traverse these enchanted paths, know that our perspective is that of a modern witch. As always, the musings shared within these hallowed walls are but seeds of thought, offerings to inspire the magic that dwells within you. Witchcraft, you see, is a very personal odyssey, a sacred dance between the practitioner and the unseen forces that shape our reality. So take these information and do what you will with it. I want to give special thank yous for you guys listening on Spotify and on YouTube. And a special thank you for those attuned to the frequencies of the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. Please visit troubledminds.org, where an invitation awaits you to join the conversations led by my friend Michael Strange. Also visit troubledminds.org/friends and connect with the kindred souls and extend your support to the enchanting collaborators shaping the existence of the radio station. As the cauldron bubbles, let us stir the brew with the MOD, or the message of the day. It's an incantation to set the tone of our mystical discourse. And today's quote is, "There are as many types of witches as you meet each witch." And that comes from me, Matt's Owl. And I feel that because I realize how unique and how personal this religion can be to each person. And the more people I meet, the more I see how we all learn and practice our magic differently. And some people say Wiccan or witchcraft, and I think about how it's filtered through each person. Does it really matter what we call it? If it works for you, you call it whatever you want. I believe there are many different paths to follow. And the more you learn about each one, the more you gain knowledge. And you're able to adapt it to your own personal experience. And that's why I want to do this show and talk about the different types of magic. So explore with me as we learn and enrich our knowledge. Here are some of the different types of magic. And I believe the way it's spelled makes a difference. Magic, spelled with a C, is the Houdini type illusion magic, like sleight of hand, card tricks, and street magicians, to give us entertainment value. And I love this kind of magic because I'm always trying to figure out, how did they do it? How do they do these magic tricks? Now, I have a big appreciation for it, but that's not the kind of magic that I like to talk about on this show. The magic that I'm talking about, spelled with a K, And this is the real magic. I believe magic is a practitioner bending reality to their will. However it works, or whatever you want to call it, it is real. And everyone can use it once you learn your own way. Now, learning about the other ways only enhances the experience. So let's break down some popular types. Witchcraft is a diverse and dynamic practice with various traditions, belief systems, and approaches. Wicca is the modern pagan religion that emerged in the mid-20th century. It often involves the worship of a god, a goddess, and are followers of a nature-based, ritualistic approach. Traditional witchcraft is what encompasses a range of folkloric practices passed down through generations. It often involves working with local spirits, herbalism, and ritual magic. Hereditary magic. Hereditary witches claim a family lineage of witchcraft, suggesting that their practices have been passed down through generations within their family. So if anyone that has like a grandmother or someone before them that had practiced, you can claim that as hereditary witchcraft. Now, there's also eclectic witchcraft, and this is the kind of witchcraft that I practice. Eclectic witches draw from various traditions, beliefs, and practices, creating a personalized and flexible approach to witchcraft that suits their individual preferences. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, Matt, you're just making it up as you go." Kinda, yeah. But what I do is that I can draw upon the different types. I can learn about all of them, take out what I don't want, and keep what I do. And that's the way I like to do a lot of things. That's why I have so much knowledge about lots of different types and lots of different kinds of witchcraft, because it kind of uses all of them. We have kitchen witchcraft. Now, kitchen witches focus on magic within the home, often incorporating culinary skills, herbalism, and everyday objects into their magical practices. And this is when you cook with magic, when people say, "Oh, the magic ingredient is love." That's kind of what I think about when I think about kitchen witchcraft. Now there's hedge witchcraft. Hedge witches work with liminal spaces, such as the hedge, between the physical and the spiritual realms. They may engage in astral travel, spirit work, and herbal magic. When I think of hedge witches, I think of the hedge of, the edge of the town. And a lot of the witches in the stories, like Hansel and Gretel and all the old stories, has the witch living outside of the town. The people would go visit the witch outside of the town. And so the hedge is, a threshold between the city and the forest. But it's also a metaphor for the hedge being the line. We will often say 1 foot in the physical world, 1 foot in the spiritual world. This is what we're talking about, and the hedge is what separates it. So the hedge is the threshold between the physical world and the spiritual world. And these hedge witches can sit on the hedge, so to speak, with one leg on one side and one leg on the other. That's what I think about when I think of hedge witchcraft. We have ceremonial witchcraft. Ceremonial witches follow a structured ritualistic approach to magic, often drawing from ceremonial magic systems, astrology, and the Kabbalah. When I think about ceremonial witchcraft, I think about Aleister Crowley and the Order of the Golden Dawn. We have green witchcraft. Green witches emphasize a strong connection to nature, working with plants, herbs, and natural elements. Their practices often involve herbal magic, gardening, and eco-friendly living. And we all have that one friend we say, has a green thumb. Those are the people that can grow anything, or people that love to garden or love being outside in the garden. Those are the green witches. We have solitary witchcraft. Again, something that I practice. Solitary witches practice alone, often creating their rituals, spells, and traditions. They may draw inspiration from various sources without adhering to the specific coven or tradition. So anyone that practices by themselves or is not in a coven, anytime you do any kind of magic by yourself, that's solitary witchcraft. Solitary, like solitaire, like the card game that you play by yourself. Next is folk magic. Folk magic involves practices rooted in folklore and traditions of specific regions. It often includes charms, divination, and rituals passed down through oral traditions. Next is Dianic witchcraft. Dianic witches focus on the worship of the goddess, particularly the Roman goddess Diana. This tradition often emphasizes female empowerment and may be exclusively women-centered. Now, I do understand this, and I like how they worship the goddess Diana, but I feel at the same time it needs to be balanced, a male and a female. That's just my personal opinion. But there is people out there that do this Dianic witchcraft. Up next is the Straga. The Straga is Italian witchcraft. It's a tradition that draws upon pre-Christian Italian folk practices. It often involves the worship of a pantheon of deities and the practice of natural magic. Magic comes in various forms, each within its own set of principles, practices, and traditions. Here are some different types of magic. We talked about ceremonial magic. We have chaos magic. Chaos magic is a modern form of magic that emphasizes flexibility and adaptability. Practitioners may use eclectic approaches, drawing from various belief systems, and may even change their belief as needed. We have Hermetic magic. Rooted in the Hermeticism, it's a magical tradition is based on the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. It includes the exploration of spiritual and alchemical principles, often with a focus on personal transformation. I like this one because if we've ever read the Hermetica or the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, it's stuff that he's talking about. And I like this kind of magic because it's ancient old, and it has a lot of good teachings in it, just to be a better person. And I like that. I like what he's talking about in that book. Next is, let's talk about sympathetic magic. Sympathetic magic is based on the principle of like attracts like, or as above, so below. It includes practices such as sympathetic imagery, sympathetic contact, and the use of correspondences. We have elemental magic. Elemental magic involves working with the classic elements, earth, air, fire, and water, to harness their energies for magical purposes. It may include rituals, spells, and invocations aligned with specific elements. Up next is candle magic. Candle magic is a form of sympathetic magic where candles are used to represent different intentions or outcomes. The colors of the candles and their positioning may play a significant role in the spell work. Next is crystal magic or crystal healing. Crystal magic involves using crystals and gemstones for healing, protection, and energy work. Each crystal is believed to have unique properties that can be harnessed for magical purposes. Next is divination. Divination is the practice of seeking knowledge or guidance through various tools, such as tarot cards, runes, pendulums, or scrying methods like crystal balls or mirrors. Necromancy. Necromancy involves communication with the deceased or working with the spirits. This practice has historical ties to divination and seeking guidance from the spirit realm. We have evocation and invocation. So invocation is calling upon the spiritual entities or deities for assistance, guidance, or presence. Evocation is the act of summoning spirits or entities to appear before the magician. Up next is high magic and low magic. High magic often involves ceremonial and ritualistic practices aimed at spiritual development and communion with the higher forces. Now, low magic tends to focus on practical, everyday concerns and spell work. And the way I kind of see it back and forth is high magic is more like ceremonial magic, like ritual magic, and low magic is more like the folk magic, like folk magic, superstitions and things like that. Up next is sex magic. Sex magic involves the use of sexual energy for magical purposes. It may be practiced individually or with a partner, and is often associated with the idea of raising and directing energy through sexual acts. And these is like the Kama Sutra and the Tantra. Up next is technomancy. Technomancy is a modern form of magic that involves the use of technology, such as computers, smartphones, and the internet for magical purposes. Alexandrian witchcraft. Alexandrian witchcraft was founded in England by Alexander Sanders, based on Gardnerian Wicca, with the elements of ceremonial magic and Kabbalah. The Celtic, based on the traditions and mythology of the Celtic peoples, emphasizes nature and the elements. Ceremonial. Ceremonial uses a lot of ceremonial magic and practices such as rituals, symbols, and tools. We talked about chaos magic. We talked about Dianic magic. What about draconic magic? A branch of Wicca that works with dragons and dragon energy. We also have the fairy, the fae folk magic, a form of witchcraft that involves working with the fae, or the spirits of nature. Now, these categories are not mutually exclusive, and many witches incorporate elements from various traditions into their practices. Witchcraft is a highly personal and eclectic path, allowing individuals to tailor their practices to align with their beliefs, values, and spiritual connections. Now, the reason that I wanted to do this show and talk about the different kinds of witchcraft is because, like I said in the beginning, as many people as you meet, there's so many different things, and I think learning a little bit about all of them is good, because then it kind of gives you a foundation, a spot, now that you know a little bit about these things, to go find the one that you think is the best for you, and then go and learn more about that topic, dive into that specific subject. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this episode, because I think there's so much out there, and I just think it's good for you to learn as much as you can about everything, and then make the decisions for yourself based on what you feel you are attracted to. And so that's all for today. Thank you guys for listening. I am Matt's Owl. Thank you for journeying with me through the Temple of the Owl. And a special thank you for those attuned to the frequencies of the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. I thank you guys. Blessed be.